it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my favorite detective mystery style middle grade books series that I recommend. The first two series aren't really the main gist of what I'm saying, but I still want to include them. I didn't include Green Glass House series. It's one of my favorite series of all time. The first two books kind of have a detective-like air to them, but the whole series as a whole, no. But the Winterhouse series, mystery series, is kind of, they like try to solve the mystery some, and so I thought I'd include those. By Ben Guterson. Orphan Elizabeth Summers' malevolent Aunt Purdy and Uncle Burlap ship her off to the ominous Winterhouse Hotel owned by the peculiar Norbridge Frauds. Upon arrival, Elizabeth quickly discovers that Winterhouse has many charms, most notably its massive library. It's not long before she locates a magical book of puzzles that will unlock a mystery involving Norbridge and his sinister family. But as she uncovers the hotel secrets, Elizabeth starts to realize that she is somehow connected to Winterhouse, for better or for worse. Mystery, adventure, and beautiful writing combine in this exciting debut set within a hotel full of secrets. It's got an amazing setting at this hotel, and just the whole mystery and puzzle, and the friends she makes, and they like to do, every chapter starts with like this word. It's just such a fun series. The second book is The Secrets of Winterhouse. The third book just says The Winterhouse Mysteries. They're very atmospheric, full of mystery. Not the complete detective style that I'm talking about though, but I do want to include them. These aren't, the rest of them are, but these aren't either the detective style, but it is detective mystery middle grade. The ones that we get to next will be more that specific niche that I just love. But the Adventures on Train series by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. The first book is The Highland Falcon Thief. All aboard! You're holding a ticket to an incredible new mystery adventure. Harrison Beck and his uncle Nat are enjoying the final journey of the Highland Falcon, Britain's most famous steam train. But when our precious jewel goes missing, Harrison and his new friend Lenny find themselves at the center of the investigation. Can they solve the mystery and catch the culprit before they reach the end of the line? And the second book, Kidnap on the California Comet. Third book, Murder on the Safari Star. Danger at Dead Man's Pass. And Sabotage on the Solar Express. And I think the next book comes out next month or the month after. I can't remember. But these are just so much fun. I love Harrison and Uncle Nat. Like, they're just the best together. And the trains, each train is a different train, and it's always a different location, and it's always such an amazing time. So much mystery, and he makes new friends every time, and it's just, they're just amazing. Okay, now my detectiving. So, the Poppy Pym series by Laura Wood, and I think this was like her debut, might have been this first book, but I think she writes maybe YA and adult is what she's more known for, but I've only read these. So Poppy Pym and the Pharaoh's Curse. Step right up for mind-bending magic, deep dark mysteries, and a lion wearing a mustache. You might think that after growing up in a traveling circus, going to boarding school would be boring, but not for me, Poppy Pym. In fact, here at St. Smithers, a mystery is afoot. An ancient Egyptian ruby has gone on display, and suddenly dangerous accidents start happening. Is the ruby cursed, or is it something or someone else? It's up to me to be a top sleuth and solve the case, with a little help from my pals. The second book is Poppy Pym and the Dumble Jinx. Poppy Pym and the Smuggler's Secret. Lastly, Poppy Pym and the Beastly Blizzard. And I just love these. They have a main mystery each book, and then there's an underlying mystery that Poppy is working on about her own past and something to do with her mom. And everything was incredible. Like, it was so, and then the way they write out the transcripts for the phone calls, so if like you're reading this aloud, you can do read alouds. Her circus family is phenomenal. Mustache. I just love them so much. They were so much fun and so different. Like the circus take, and like this one has the Pharaoh Curse. This one involves the theater and Macbeth. This one they change locations to this haunted like manor on the coast, and they like are even surfing. It's like summertime, and and they think it's haunted, and there's an old smuggler's mystery plus a current mystery. And then this one, we're back at the school and it's Christmas time, but it's a whole different type of thing. Love them. And then Rose Raventhorpe Investigates series by Janine Beacham. This is Black Cats and Butlers. It's the first book. And Rose Raventhorpe's beloved butler is found, gasp, murdered in the hallway of her very own house. She's determined to uncover the culprit, especially since he's the third butler to die in a week. Rose's investigation leads her on a journey into a hidden world of grave robbers and dueling butlers, flamboyant magicians, and the city of York's ancient feline guardians. Knives aren't just for cutting cucumber sandwiches, you know. And then Rubies and Runaways. Book Hounds and Haunting. And these are just so much fun, like that historical feel, the humor, dueling butlers, and a dueling butler's secret society. It's just amazing. And then these grave robbers that they deal with, and the secret tunnel things, and the guardian cats, and everything about that. It's just phenomenal. I love this series so much. I was so happy when I finally read it. They were just so much fun. I never knew dueling butlers would be a thing, or would be something that I very much enjoyed, but it was. And then A Girl Called Justice series by Elly Griffiths. And the first book, A Girl Called Justice. Meet Justice Jones, super smart by day, super sleuth by night. She's always on the lookout for mystery. On Justice's first day at boarding school, it's clear there is plenty of investigating to do. Why do blondes rule the corridors? Who made the uniform such a charming shade of brown? And do teachers normally hide dangerous secrets about the murder of a chambermaid? When a deadly snowstorm cuts everyone off from the outside world, the body count starts to rise. Can justice find the killer before it's too late? The second book, The Smuggler's Secret. And The Ghost in the Garden. Eye at the Window. I love Justice. These were so much fun. The historical fiction, the boarding school, the humor, the detective style. All the characters are so well done. And this school is so atmospheric. And her making friends. And I even love her dad, and you don't even see him that much. And it's just phenomenal. And each mystery that she comes across, I just love it so much. I don't know if there will be more than the 4 books, but I hope so. I just love this series so much. It's such a good historical fiction, detective, mystery series. And the author, I'll read the author's note in the first one. Highbury House Boarding School for the Daughters of Gentlefolk is entirely fictional. It is, however, loosely based on Heath House in Weybridge, the school attended by my mother, Sheila, in the 1930s. Like Justice, Sheila was brought up by her father, though he was an actor, not a lawyer, and she too heartily disliked boarding school. She missed her father, and matron told her off for talking about him too much. Sheila consoled herself by breaking as many school rules as she could and by reading detective novels. She also wrote some very exciting adventure stories, which often featured a schoolgirl heroine. Mom died in 2014, but in every sense, this is her book. And I just love that. So, I know her mom would be very happy and very proud of her. And then I love this series. Agatha Oddly series by Lena Jones. First book, The Secret Key. Agatha Oddly, no case too odd. Agatha Oddly has been a detective for as long as she can remember. She's just been waiting for her first big case. And nothing gets bigger than saving the city of London from some strange goings-on. With a home in the middle of Hyde's Park, a room full of beloved sleuthing novels, and a secret key that gives her access to a whole hidden side of London, Agatha is perfectly poised to solve this mystery. But just who can she trust when no one is quite who they seem? Love this. The whole, just like the other series, like there's a main mystery for each one, but there's an underlying mystery throughout the series with Agatha's mom, that she's trying to find out what happened, and then the secret society, and then these keys, and the key and the hidden parts of London she finds. And even her house in Hyde Park is so cozy, and it's just so atmospheric. And even the way she describes her outfits just reminds me sometimes some of her stuff of a younger me. But I just love it. But she pulls it off way better. Like everything she pairs together. And then she has disguises, and her humor is great. Her friends are amazing. I love her dad too. Just everything. And then the second book is Murder at the Museum. The Silver Serpent. These are so good. The ending of the third final one just blew me away. Like, I was so shocked. And I just want more middle grade by this author. And these were just so amazing. Obviously. And then the last 3 series are the top favorite. And I'm not going to put them in any particular order just because I don't want to hurt my brain trying to figure out which one I like the best. I think I might know, but I'll just leave it. They're in not particular order. So, no particular order. So, the Ivy Pocket series by Caleb Krisp. first book, Anybody But Ivy Pocket. And these covers are so beautiful. There's illustrations throughout that are beautiful. Meet the girl everyone's trying to avoid. Poor Ivy Pocket. Not only is she an orphan and all alone in the big wide world, but she is also a walking disaster who causes mayhem, misunderstandings, and mischief wherever she goes. So knowing this is about Ivy Pocket, would you ask her to deliver a totally priceless, incredibly beautiful, and possibly cursed diamond necklace to Matilda Butterfield in time for her 12th birthday ball? No, you would ask absolutely anyone but Ivy Pocket. Alas, that is not what happens in this book. And these are just hilarious. Ivy Pocket, she thinks like she has everything figured out and she's like the top person for everything, but she keeps missing the obvious like so blatantly, but it's not annoying because it's just hilarious because everything kind of works out for her usually in the end. So it's just hilarious. She's genius in her own way, and I can see how some of her humor in here and like the humor in here could be offensive to some, or stuff like that gets to you. Maybe you wouldn't like it as much, but I love this. And she's hilarious, and I need more middle grade. I don't know why he hasn't written anything else, but I need more. In the second book, Somebody Stop Ivy Pocket. Oh. And each one, not just those one things in the beginning. The title page has a big old illustration too. That was the first book. And so in the second book, and again, illustrations. And Bring Me the Head of Ivy Pocket. She's just so, she's such a great character. Are you ready for Ivy Pocket? Because Ivy Pocket is ready for you. Ivy Pocket may be a 12-year-old maid of no importance, but she's also a spectacular person in every possible way. Just ask her. And then there's portraits of her, and it quotes her on each one. I possess all the delicate beauty of a princess in a tower. And then I have all the nimble quickness of a startled rabbit. I have all the natural instincts of a secret agent. She's just incredible. Just so funny. Very atmospheric. Beautiful illustrations throughout. Beautiful books in general. I just love this series so much. And next to last is the Aggie Morton Mystery Queen series by Marthe and Jocelyn. In the first book, The Body Under the Piano. Aggie Morton lives in the English seaside town of Torquay in 1902. Highly inventive and deeply shy, Aggie is still mourning the death of her beloved father and has developed what her mother calls a morbid preoccupation. She spends her solitary hours composing ghastly tales and fictional endeavors for made-up friends, but an opportunity for real friendship and adventure is coming Aggie's way. First, she crosses paths with a Belgian boy named Hector Perot. Then one morning, a dead body appears on the floor of the Mermaid Dance Room. Aggie's family may think that a murder case is no place for a 12-year-old, but Aggie and Hector know better. They observe what others miss, and the police are no match for Aggie's keen imagination. With a village full of suspects, the two sleuths apply their insatiable curiosity, deductive skills, and a little bit of nosiness learned from Aggie's sharp-eyed Granny Jane to solve their crime. Filled with mystery and excitement, unforgettable characters, and several helpings of tea and sweets, The Body Under the Piano is the delightful and thrilling first book in a series about being brave, finding your voice, embracing the unexpected, and cracking the case. So true. I love this. And the second book is Peril at Owl Park. Third book is The Dead Man in the Garden. And the fourth book comes out, I think, in November, and I'm so excited. This is supposed to be like the author loves Agatha Christie, and this is like what she just imagines a young Agatha Christie in her mind to be like. And having this Hector be her friend, I think is kind of her take on someone else from an Agatha Christie book. Let's see, author's note. Agatha Christie, after William Shakespeare, is the second best-selling author in history. It would be hard to find a reading adult who has not heard of her, as more than 2 billion copies of her books have been sold around the world in over 100 languages. Of course there are more stories. As an adult, I became curious. What made Agatha an expert on betrayal, suspicion, and wickedness? What sort of family and community had populated her childhood? What kind of books did she like to read? And from what seeds of inspiration did she conjure up her 2 famous detectives, Hercule Poirot and Miss Jane Marple? When Tara Walker at Hunter Books casually asked whether Agatha Christie might be a good model for a child sleuth, my heart jumped on the spot. And what if she had a best friend? I thought, a clever boy with an accent. A single comment after a lifetime of being a mystery fan led me to write this entirely fictional story featuring the made-up character of Aggie Morton. I did lots of research about what the world was like in 1902 when Agatha Christie was 12 years old. I read her autobiography as well as some of her favorite childhood books and a couple of biographies. I visited her hometown, spied the view from her hill, walked the streets she walked, leaned on the railing overlooking the harbor. Certain details of Aggie Morton's nature and circumstances overlap with those of Agatha Christie's youth, but her adventures are my own creation. The famous crime writer grew up in Torquay, England, in a house named Ashfield, many hills up from the harbor. She lived with her parents, a series of beloved pets, and a few devoted servants. Her brother Monty and sister Madge were 10 and 11 years older than she was and moved away when Agatha was still a child. Her young life was happy and secure until her father died when she was 11. Family sadness was immense, but Agatha continued to be surrounded by people who cared about her. One of her grandmothers, a wise and humorous woman, often came to visit. Agatha was extremely shy and much preferred solving puzzles and reading books to interacting with real people. She ceremoniously buried her dead pets and often chose the graveyard as a destination for her walks. She played with neighborhood children and had many imaginary companions, but she never met a Belgian boy named Hector, nor did she discover a corpse or pursue a killer. So, but you can read the whole author's note, but that's just where she came up. But she did her research. You can tell by all that. Plus, when you read it, and I don't even know that much about Agatha Christie, so just like the historical parts and everything, and just the humor that I love with detective style, middle grade, and these characters are amazing. Aggie and Hector are just so great, and Granny Jane is the best. I absolutely love her. And lastly, the Myrtle Hardcastle Mystery series by Elizabeth C. Bunce. First book, Premeditated Myrtle. And I won the first 2 books in ARC form on a giveaway the publisher did on their Instagram when these first came out. And then I bought finished copies of myself, except for this 4th book that was just sent to me. So I bought the first 2 I won in a giveaway, but they were ARCs, and then I bought the beautiful finished copies, so I bought the first 3. 12-year-old Myrtle Hardcastle has a passion for justice and a highly unconventional obsession with criminal science. Armed with her father's law books and her mom's microscope, Myrtle studies toxicology, keeps abreast of the latest developments in crime scene analysis, and observes her neighbors in the quiet village of Swinburne, England. When her next-door neighbor, a wealthy spinster and eccentric breeder of rare flowers, dies under mysterious circumstances, Myrtle is sure Miss Wodehouse has been murdered. With her unflappable governess, Miss Ada Judson, by her side, Myrtle takes it upon herself to prove the crime and find Miss Wodehouse's killer. With a sparkling wit and a tight, twisty plot, Premeditated Murder, the first in a series from award-winning author, introduces a brilliant young investigator. Myrtle is more than ready to take on hard cases and maddening Victorian rules for young ladies' equality in order to earn her place among the most daring and acclaimed amateur detectives of her time or any other. I love that. And the second book, How to Get Away with Myrtle. And the third book, Cold-Blooded Myrtle. And then, like I said, someone at Algonquin Publishers had reached out to me, and I already said this in a book haul and everything, but yes, the 4th book, In Mortal Peril, which comes out October 4th. I don't know if this will be up before or after that, but it comes out October 4th, so I'm going to be reading it, starting it in the next few days. But I'm so excited to read the 4th book, and it is gorgeous. Thank you so much. But again, the historical fiction, this Victorian vibe, her house is so atmospheric everywhere she goes. Like, just all the setting is just so superb. And her governess and her are amazing. They're like Holmes and Watson themselves. And her dad is also so great. These dads are just phenomenal in these mystery books. And her cat, I love her cat. And then her Aunt Helene. Oh, it's just so funny. And each chapter starts with like a quote, like from one of her books, because it's a quote from H.M. Horncastle from The Principles of Detection, a manual from the amateur and professional investigator. So, and she's quoting herself from a book I guess she writes in the future, in each chapter head. And also, she'll say something, this happens on many pages, and there'll be like an asterisk next to it, so then you look down here, and this is page 16 on the first book, so. It used to be a cemetery before they built up all the houses. And right at houses it has that mark. So you go down here and it says, I was certain they moved all the graves first. There was a court order and massive amounts of paperwork, Father said. And a converted mausoleum displayed photographs of the disinterments. But Carolyn Munjal insisted that some of the bodies were still there, their ghosts haunting in the new houses. See fanciful above. Like, just these hilarious little thoughts that she has about something put in there. It's just hilarious, and I love it. And I love Myrtle. I'm so excited. I'm having a new book to read. Just a little bit, a note from the author. The 1890s were an exciting time in criminal science and police work, including the development of many scientific and investigative techniques we rely on today. Although DNA analysis was nearly a century away, the value of fingerprints was still being debated, although they had been used for identification in India and China for centuries, and blood analysis was rudimentary. Pioneers in toxicology, the effects of poisons, forensic medicine, using medical knowledge to determine the facts of a crime, and crime scene analysis added new tools to the police arsenal seemingly by day. England's criminal justice system in the 1890s was also growing into modern form, undergoing rapid and expensive changes that confused even the English public. In Myrtle's day, the prosecution of crimes was handled by a jumble of different local officers, depending on where you lived, even at times by the victims themselves. It just talks about crime history and of that time and how it relates, and I always recommend the author's note book. Alright, editing bell. I wanted to give an honorable mention since I'm currently reading one of the just be-all, end-all of detective mystery middle grades, you could say, or the Murder Most Unladylike series by Robin Stevens. If you have the UK editions, the US editions are a Wells and Wong mystery or something. And I'm currently on the 6th book. I'm on page like 48, Spoonful of Murder. And there's like 9 books total, besides the 0.5 books, which have just little extra things. But so 9 books, and I'm reading the 6th, so it's definitely a favorite, and I definitely recommend it. I can say safely at this point on book 6. I just love this series so much. It's historical fiction, detective style, mystery middle grade, boarding school, plus there's different locations. A lot of the books, like they go places, like in this one, they're in Hong Kong. Just amazing messages and lessons, and this friendship that continually grows, and just great development, and important topics and issues, and phenomenal writing, phenomenal suspects in each story. Each murder mystery is so amazing. Daisy and Hazel are Daisy's dialogue is like brilliant, and Hazel is brilliant. Like they're both brilliant in different ways, but together they're like unstoppable, and I just love them. So I definitely had to put this in here. So that's it, y'all. I have more I might have missed, but it seems like I would have more. But as far as series go, these are the ones I wanted to share with y'all. Have you read any of them before? Did you like them? Did you not when you read them? Do you see any here now that you really want to read? Let me know in the comments. Today's shirt is Gilmore Girls, Stars Hollow, the annual autumn and fall festival. So, if you enjoyed the video, and if you would like to subscribe, I would love that if you'd like to. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.